Welcome again to Let's Talk Chemistry with Pastor Dan. We'll look at atom size practice today. So here is the practice I have for atom size. So we're going to do these 5 in increasing order. Copy those down. And then we're going to do these 5 in decreasing order. And then I do have a quick review on valence electrons, ionization energy, electron affinity class, and family for those 5 elements. The answers will be there. If you're not sure, go back and review. Now let's take and do a quick review on the process. So let's start with that first one there. So we need to look at the periodic chart. Remembering as we're going down, we're getting bigger because we're adding energy levels. As we're going across, we're getting smaller because the protons and electrons are sucking the atom in. So here are my 5 elements. And if we're increasing, we want the one that's farthest up, farthest to the right. So you see the first one up here that's all by itself is Al. That would be my smallest atom. Now we're going down a row, so that means that As, arsenic, would be next. Now these two are in the same row. Since they're in the same row, the one to the right, At, is smaller than one to the left, Au, and then as we're going down, Am, of course, would be the largest of those 5. All right, so let's look at the opposite way. Let's go decreasing size. Again, we have our periodic chart, and those are our 5 elements identified. Now we're going from the one that's farthest down and farthest to the left this time. But if we look at this, you thought, wait a minute, AC is the biggest. Was an AM the biggest because it's farther down? Remember, this row, these 14 4Fs with the electron configuration, are actually between LA and HF. So LA is bigger than all 14 of these, and all 14 of these are bigger than HF. Similarly, AC, actinium, is bigger than all 14 of these in the 5Fs. So thorium through lawrencium, and thorium through lawrencium is bigger than RF, rutherfordium. So the next biggest one right next to it would be AM. Now the ones that are left, then we have these 3 elements left. The one that's farthest down would be AT, followed by AG, and the smallest there is AR. Alrighty. Now, finish the rest of those. I'm going to show you the answers to that set. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Check your work. Make sure this is all right. And there we go. Now, I want to share something with you. I've got some time. One of the things I do in addition to helping at the church is I go into prison. I go in once a month with a group called the Gideons. If you ever, the Hotel Bibles, they're a professional businessmen association that let me go in with them. And I get to usually preach, and I always give a salvation message. I don't know if you've noticed that before. Jesus is really important to me. So God impressed me to let the men ask questions before I started. And so the first question wasn't too bad. It was, why don't we still sacrifice like the New Testament? And that was easy because Jesus was the representation, the Passover lamb that was taking place in the Old Testament was the representation of what Jesus would do. And the Passover lamb covered sins for 1 year, but it had to be done constantly and over again. Jesus, being the ultimate sacrifice, the perfect sacrifice, is once for all times, past, present, and future. So no further necessity for covering of sins except receiving that gift is all we needed. Second question, though, wasn't so easy. A man rose his hand. I called on him. He said, my baby died. Why? I don't have an answer. I told him I didn't. There are some things in this world that just don't make sense. You could give scriptures like all things work together good of those level are called with Romans 8 verses 28. But at that point, people don't want to hear that. That's true, but that doesn't help, and it doesn't make anything feel better, and it doesn't feel good, and it's not good. I mean, for them in that situation, it's not good. It will work out for good, but in that situation, it's not good. So what did I say? I said, there is sin in the world, so bad things happen, and it's not that God doesn't want you to have your child, or he took it on purpose. So the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. There is a reason. I don't know what it is. And all I can really do is pray for you. So that's what I did at the end of the service. I made sure I prayed for him. And that's what I encourage you all to understand. There are some things that we will not understand. on this side of heaven, they don't make sense. But understand that God still loves us so much that he gave his only begotten son. And the thing that I did tell him is, even though it's horrendous and horrible, God does understand, because he also lost his son. He lost it for you. So that's what I did. It was an interesting night, to say the least. So make sure you get those answers done. Take care. God bless.